shall have viewers. Good morning. And to say once again, reiterate my position once again, that Ken has a place on this table. Ken has a seat on this table. Yeah, so we should not be deceived by any CSO narrative.
United Party.
Kennedy Japan has a seat on this table. Let's be clear about that.
But please go ahead with your comments.
Yeah. Yeah. So
yes,
I think the biggest issue the minority has, because if I understand your question, whether or not the minority is right to criticize what's called the 3-year projection by government in ending the double track system. My initial reaction will be to say that this minority, without even going into the merit or not of it, do not have any credibility, any moral credibility to be criticizing. They must take their time. They must take their time because if there's something that's clear, when they decide to do the free SHS, no matter and on the question of whether or not it was good to fund education at the secondary level, I think we were all united in our acceptance of the benefits of funding free SHS. I think where there were divisions or where there were disagreements was in the implementation. That in 2017, taking into consideration our fiscal position, whether or not it was prudent for government to have rolled out the free SHS as quickly as they did. I think the opposition then were of the view that as much as they did not disagree with the free SHS itself, their issue was in clearly the lack of planning in how government implemented same, taking into consideration the fiscal space available to government. I don't think they saying that they'll end free SHS, they'll end the double track in 3 years' time is any departure from what their position has always been. Because they've always been of the view that as much as they agree with free SHS, they thought that in the rolling out it had to be staggered because of the fiscal implications. And I think they've shown consistency in that thinking in their projection that it will take them about 3 years to completely, as it were, stop the double track, because it has a number of what's called implication. It means that they need to invest in infrastructure and per their fiscal strategy that will take 3 years. I think that's a very prudent and very smart what's called way to go, and we see that even in this budget, because as much as they are spending 33 billion on education, you see that it is planned. Because it's not like all the money is going somewhere. A bit of it is going to CAPEX. A bit of it is going to what's called teacher training. I can see that teacher training, funding to the teacher training has really what's called improved. And so my view is that I do not agree with the
now colleges of education.
College of Education, College of Education, formerly teacher training. So we are clear. There are some people who still refer to that as teacher training. And we don't want
the budget. It was referred to
but we don't. We are communicating to the masses. We want them to be clear. So what they need to be teacher
the
training.
Must also understand.
They understand. So they understand.
Because as far as the teacher training is concerned, 207 million was voted.
I'm only trying to.
He's saying that they are now College of Education.
College of Education.
I'm not going to argue with him on that, but we are communicating to the masses, and the masses need to be clear in their mind that when we say
as far as the lexicon is concerned,
it's the same as the
teacher training. Teacher training.
Exactly. So yeah. So
that's why we know. We only know teacher training.
So don't let us confuse them. I see the minority trying very hard to once again play partisan politics with this, but we are just in 2025. We've had a government that's managed to bring about a massive restoration in the dying confidence the people of this country had in the economy. We have a leadership that has a clear strategy in how it's going to tackle the education issue. We have a leadership that has shown clear commitment, because they show me where you spend your money and I'll show you what your commitment is. But beyond that, there's a clear strategy as to how they are even going to spend the money in the educational, sector. One thing I found very interesting was the IGF. I understand that the education itself is able to generate about 3.something billion internally generated funds. For me, I think my only comment there is that it will call for greater accountability, as in they should be able to tell us that's what they use, what's called those monies for. Also, when you read about it, there's a huge component of it that goes into capex, into building of infrastructure. Because if there's one problem we've had over the years, we spend so much money on education, yet there are Ghanaians who are still studying what's called under trees. Yes, I can see a lot of money being allocated there. And also, you can see a lot of, I think about 2.something billion allocated to goods and services. So my only wish is that in the implementation of these budgets, the rules that govern procurement, you understand, will be followed religiously. But having said that, I must say that my initial impression of the budget is one that is really positive. Yes, I'm really positive because clearly you can see that government wants to consolidate the huge strides they've made over the last year. Must commend them for right now we don't have COVID levy anymore. No, so we must see it. We don't have COVID levy. The war in Russia and Ukraine is still raging, and COVID levy is gone. VAT has been what's called how VAT was computed
has been reduced.
Has been reduced also. And the war in Russia and Ukraine is still raging.
Following the decoupling, and so
yes.
it makes multiple taxation reduced, yes.
And then they've increased the threshold from 200,000 to 750,000. So a party that we say are social democrats, they seem to have given us a budget that's very business friendly. Beyond the clear commitment to education, they've given us a budget which, for all intents and purposes, within this very tight fiscal space, is very business friendly. The interest rate has reduced also. Interest rate has reduced significantly. So it means that the cost of doing business has also reduced. Oh, no.
I'm just following you.
Interest rate is still around 20%.
So, as in, the point I'm trying to make is that this is a very positive budget. My only pride is that we won't have issues with the implementation. Because I don't think we've never had issues with the planning. The issues we've had with the implementation. And I hope that the implementation will be so seamless that the transformational agenda that the government seeks can be realized. Yeah, so those are my initial reactions. Very positive budget, and kudos to the finance minister.
Dr.